Hi Aries, welcome to your quantum reading with me, Jocelyn, the Quantum Queen. Aries, let us go ahead and dive in. This is, of course, for Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And as always, welcome to my cross watchers. Cross watcher, you could be dealing with an Aries, and the message could actually be for you. Ooh, yeah! You're the first one getting that one today. Keep in mind that these are timeless readings. So, Aries, what I wanted to let you know, if you kind of take a little venture over to my playlist, you will find a playlist specifically dedicated just for you. So if you want to go through there, since the readings are timeless, you might actually find something in there that could be useful for you. If you guys would like to book a one-on-one reading with me, you can find my information down below in the description box. And just wanted to say thank you for liking, subscribing, and thank you for all the good karma donations. I appreciate it so much. Aries, I love this. Okay, are you ready? I actually feel like there could be someone that you like have a connection to a person in some way, shape, or form. It's really interesting because I'm getting this like really fascinating like dichotomy of energies. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, because we have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Okay, so for some of you, this might not even be someone that you're totally like is in your actual physical environment, but some of you it could be. It could be a friendship, a sibling. Don't get caught up by the gender. But I want to say, like, the immediate feeling I had is it's someone that you're in competition with. But it's really interesting because you feel this connection with them. And like you can't deny it. I mean, it could be another fire sign, an Aries, another Aries, a Leo, or a Sag, or it could be a water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, anywhere in the chart. Okay, Sun, Moon, or Rising. But I think it's interesting because I do think that there's this role reversal. I'm saying that because we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel like at one time in your life, Aries, and take this however applies. Maybe this is the other person that like they were at the top of the wheel. Maybe things were going really well for them. They were maybe traveling, being successful, really moving forward in life. And then there's something that happened where maybe like you're the one moving ahead. And now like there's almost this competition that happens between the two of you. It's really interesting. But that's why maybe for some of you, this could be like a strained relationship. It's something that you struggle with or maybe feel confused about. And it's because it is shining a light on a part of you. You know, like maybe there was even a time, Aries, like, again, take this however it applies. Like maybe you're at the top of the wheel now, or maybe in the past, you were at the top of the wheel doing really good, like always, and maybe this is someone who's caught up with your progress, and maybe there's a part of you that's kind of like panicking, like you're like trying to move ahead, you're trying to like get a grip on things, because that's what I'm seeing with this whole energy. That's fast forward movement right there. Some of you might actually even be traveling, like just throwing that out there because that is my travel card. But it's all about willpower. It's finding a direction. It's success from efforts. And that's what I think it is. Like, Aries, you have a ton of drive. You're a freaking fire sign. Like, you push forward through things. Like, you can push through obstacles. You can, like, really accomplish anything pretty much that comes on your plate. And so that's why I'm saying you guys will have to take it however this applies to your situation. But that's what's so fascinating, what I was getting with that lineup. There does feel like this, like almost confliction within you, because this is someone that you actually really care about emotionally in some way, shape, or form. Say, for example, this is someone that you maybe feel connected to like on social media. Like you like their stuff, you feel really drawn to them, and you almost feel like there's some type of like soulmate or kindred spirit. But at the same time, you're competitive. Like you look at them and you're like, I'm gonna top that, or you know what I mean? It's very Aries, like fiery thing. I can't totally relate because to be honest, I think the only fire in my whole chart is like Sagittarius. It's not a whole lot, to be honest. I have a ton of water and air. I'm like a 4-planet Pisces, which sometimes I think that's a curse, honestly. But I have way too much, like, I have a lot of Pisces and then a ton of air in my chart. So, let me see. Oh, and I might have to actually take that one. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take these two because that was kind of cool that popped out. Aries. So good. We've got the tear, and that's why I think it's interesting. What will happen throughout this process for you? You'll see that you will go through moments of feeling almost boxed in your life. Like you get really competitive and you start moving forward really quickly, and then it's like all of a sudden things will come to a halt. You know, you almost feel boxed in because there's a part of your reality that, like, because of this pattern, it starts getting holographically projected into your reality. So that's why you might like move forward really quickly. You might have moments of having a lot of forward like movement and success, and then all of a sudden things will stagnate because it's showing you this reflection of what's going on between these relationships, that you're actually, do you know what I think could be happening? Again, take this however it applies. It could be you or the other person. Don't shoot the messenger. But I think that if this is you, if there's someone in your environment where sometimes you look at them and you're like, it's the competition. Because even though the card didn't come out, there's actually an archetype in here that's the mountain, and it's all about that you're climbing, you're climbing uphill, you're reaching a peak in your life, Aries. But what can happen sometimes as a natural thing, as you're starting to elevate, there's almost like this uplifting of energy within you where you're like, oh, you're starting to feel the momentum of pulling upwards in your life, elevating yourself. And what can kind of sometimes naturally happen, this happens to every human, so I'm not shaming in any way, but it's like as you elevate, sometimes you look down, right? Because you're on a mountain, so there can be this slight little tendency to look down at others and to maybe think just because of all you've accomplished, it can make you feel like you're elevated in some way, or maybe put you on a pedestal because you have overcome a lot of things. You know what I mean? You have accomplished a lot of things and you have overcome a lot of obstacles, and there is a lot of success and achievement in that. But at the same time, it can also start to make you seem almost like a know-it-all, like that and it might put people off. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I think might be happening either for you, Aries, or maybe this is someone in your life, but there's some like people that maybe you have an emotional connection to and they feel a little bit repelled by what you've been learning. And that's why, going back to the box, I freaking love this card. It's all about stepping outside of the box in your own mind, you know, releasing opinions and set ways of thinking to really perceive. And it's all about the thing that I love too about this card. This is the way that I explain this type of energy. I always go back to the saying, the more you know, the less you know. Because as you learn things throughout life, like as you educate yourself more, you start to realize that you don't know shit. And that's when you can usually tell if you're talking to someone with like a big mind or a small mind. And that sounds terrible. Again, it sounds kind of demeaning, but it literally is how it is. Like people that's why I always talk about Buddhism, you know, like being detached, and that humbleness will get you so far in life. It will just propel you, because the second the ego starts to creep in, or pride, it will put you at halts in moments in your progress. So pretty much what I'm saying, Aries, is that you could be in a process currently, maybe with this connection, however it applies, but this box, see how there's layers and layers? of opinions and structures that you built up to help you to feel safe or help you to feel secure in the world, as those, it's like an onion, as those get peeled back and back, it gets like down to the core, and that's where you find the light, like finding that whole concept of no separation, you know, accept all, reject none, all of that, because everyone is mirrors to us. And that, I do feel like there's some type of connection in here that is shining a light on that. Is there's something to be learned through this, Aries, because you, right now, things really are meant to go in your favor. Like, you are meant to be moving forward in your life, and that is going to continue to happen. But there's something about you that is learning to truly like step into your authentic self, you know. And maybe this is even something about Aries, like where you feel like you have to take on like other people's perspectives or the way they teach or the way they emulate themselves, you know, their essence, because you haven't truly found it in yourself. I don't know why that popped up too. That probably won't be for all of you, but it's at least for one of you out there to hopefully resonate with. And this is what's interesting. We've got the tier. So what I want to say with that card, Aries, this is all about like the healing aspect that comes in with crying. And that is actually a part of the process that helps you to break down layers in your own psyche and in your own mind. It's where you have to have this combination, you know. It's so weird to me how people think like shame people for crying. I'm like, that's so strange to me. It's a natural body response. It's the way that the body detoxes itself. Why else would it exist? It's the weirdest thing in me to the world. So what happens is, in the process of your own body, as you're thinking thoughts maybe about the past or things that have happened in your life, and while you cry, you have to have the combination, because that actually helps to release the energy from your being. And I don't know why this is popping out. I'm going to get so much more specific in this, because I'm like, this is such a... Honestly, it's kind of a strange message. But Aries, it honestly doesn't really surprise me, because I do feel like sometimes Aries is such a fiery, like, push through obstacles, set goals, accomplish things in life. It's the warrior sign. And sometimes that fire can easily turn into competition, you know, like... I have met quite a few Aries, and again, this is a generalization. It's not going to apply for all of them, but most Aries I meet are extremely competitive. Like, they have this need to win, and there's nothing bad about that. It's actually very admirable. But let me see what comes out here. This is really interesting. My Aries, let us see. Look at that. Okay. Ew, I love this card. Look at you. You've got the Chariot again. This is very prominent. So I love this. This is about Seven of Pentacles. All the seeds, all of your patience, hard work, dedication starting to pay off. So that's why I think, Aries, if, like I said, if this isn't even you being competitive, maybe it's someone else in your environment being competitive with you. Don't even focus on them, okay? Maybe, and especially if this is someone, Aries, that is being competitive with you, going back to the box and the tier, I think that this person, for those that this applies to, it could be someone that you actually, maybe at one time in your life, you were connected to. Lover's card. I do think it was a partnership, but there's something about like the jealousy that made, like, kind of pulled it apart, because I think what's happening for you, Aries, like, things are starting to manifest for you. Things are really starting to come to fruition. It's like Eight of Pentacles. All your hard work is starting to really pay off. You know, this is all about like your creativity is really starting to manifest something into the material. And so maybe it's even for some of you guys opening up doors opening up, like, right? That's fast forward moving. You got that Chariot card twice. This is a lot of success from all of your efforts. And like I said, for some of you, it could be opening up doors to travel, like travel the world. Maybe that's something that you guys have been working towards consistently. And that's that hard work, right? Maybe some of you are even a life path 8. And dude, if you are an Aries with a life path 8, it's like world lookout, because 8s are empire builders. And with the fire and the initiation of an Aries, like that, just that drive, you can accomplish a lot in this lifetime, like a lot. So pretty much what I want to say, Aries, is like, there could be this thing, because there's the devil card, but it's upside down. I think that this is possibly the person, right? The devil can be that shadow part. It can be a partnership. So this could be a lover, it could be a friend or a family member. But I feel like you're actually starting to release connections, that you're starting to sense that there's almost an addiction, an addictive cycle between the two of you of this pattern. And maybe you're starting to see it and starting to release it. So I think, Aries, you're possibly starting to release it. It's still on your mind, you know, the connections, because it wouldn't be coming out in this spread if it wasn't. You still, like, are probably kind of thinking about the connections in your life and thinking just back on the past, looking back and kind of reminiscing about connections in your life, how good they've been, the emotional connections you've had, the depth of them, and the ones that have not seemed so healthy. They haven't been very steady in your life, right? Because the devil card, I mean, with especially those toxic kind of connections, they're always going to be in and out of your life. That's the whole foundation of a freaking trauma bond. It's like, it's always, and it can play out in every single way. It can play out in jobs. It can play out in friendships and love connections and family members, in seriously every area of your life, because it's showing a chemical pattern within you. You know, that's your... Sorry guys, my camera overheated and shut off. But I wanted to show you literally the card that popped out right after I... Please trust me, is the Two of Swords. And why would I make this up? This isn't like a happy card. So, Two of Swords, this is, I think, where you're starting to get to the point, Aries, of blocking out connections. And I've had this myself, you know, like, intuitively you're going to be able to pick up reasons why people are at a distance from you. It's not you projecting your own kind of like agenda or your own over analyzing on people. I think genuinely you're taking notice to the people that are there for you or supportive, you know, that type of thing. And because Aries, like, I really do, with this layout, if you guys aren't currently experiencing these, you're starting to move forward in your life past a really big cycle end. It's a really good read to this. Things are really starting to manifest and come to fruition for you. And it's, like I said, the Wheel of Fortune, it's the return of your own energy. It's all your hard work finally paying off, which with it, that's what's so interesting about this, is it's going to bring in this new perception and realization about looking over the past, what your struggles were, what you had to accomplish through, like, if you guys were going through a dark night of the soul or just going through a lot of struggles, you are going to look back and really be able to take a good look at the relationships in your life. And that's where I'm saying Two of Swords. I think that you're starting to cut off connections or block people out. Not necessarily in like this vengeful way. It doesn't come across like that to me. It's more like it's for the betterment of you and your emotional fulfillment, because you're stepping into your power finally. You're finally in a place in your life where you're starting to feel very empowered, totally in your own energy. And so with that is giving you kind of the strength to be able to detach yourself from people that aren't quite where you are. They didn't elevate with you, and that's okay. Everyone's in their own process, but you just can't help that. You know, you can't lower yourself for the betterment of people to try to bring them up. You know, everyone has to do that themselves. It's a self-work process for sure. So Aries, I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. I'm going to dive into the extended with this. If you guys want to join me over there, feel free. Go down below, click on the Vimeo link, and I'll see you on the other side. But Aries, if this is where we leave things, I'm sending you guys so much love, wishing you all the very best, and I'll see you in your next reading. Take care.